here at Reset the Frequency. Hallelujah. I am El Ama Ahava Sarah Ezra, and I'm only before you simply for the purpose of facilitating a breathwork meditation on today. Ma'ash, hallelujah, the beloved El Yehuda Hanuk, the grand Abba of Yashrael, is up supplicating with his good father, Yahuwah, and will be bringing forth the teaching for us on today that we may be filled with love and light, the goodness, the lively word of the infinite presence, that is the presence of Yah. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into this breathwork meditation. I just wanted to come greet you all with love, light, and richest blessings, family. All right, so everybody is comfortable? Everybody's set? Okay. So we're going to start at our center place. And that center place, whether it be legs straight out or legs crossed, but your palms is going to be face up on like your knee thigh area. And right now we have a fragrance burning here. We're just going to let that cleanse our atmosphere. And while we smell that, you know, we're just going to come into a deep sense of relaxation. Right now in this space, you are not having to meet any need. You don't have anywhere to go. You are not bound and subjected to the thoughts that are passing your awareness. You are just free to just be. And I want you to close your eyes while you're doing this so that it can help you tap into your sensories right now. Right? So right now I want you to begin to slow deep breathe. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, and whatever pace feels comfortable to you. And while you're doing that, I want you to try to pay attention to your senses. So whether you want to tune in on your ear senses, right? What you hear. It could be the lovely, majestic, royal Prince Shalom Shalom upstairs, crawling through and exploring through his room. It could be the dynamic steps of our leader and mentorship, El Yehuda Hanuk. It could be your neighbor's breath. It could be your heartbeat. Do you hear your heartbeat? It could be traffic, whatever it is, right? Or how about what you smell? You can tap into that sense. What do you smell? Your upper lip, the nice fragrance that's burning forth, food, your perfume, your oils. Or what do you feel? What do you feel? It could be internally, emotionally. Do I feel a sense of ease? Do I feel a sense of nervousness? Do I feel a knot in my stomach physically? Do I feel tension in my back? Right? Or how about, do I feel coolness on my body or heat? You are now one with your emotions and your feelings in the body temple. How about your thoughts? Can we direct ourselves to our thoughts, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant? Let them be. How about you show self-compassion to yourself? Remember, you are awareness. So whatever the thought is, you are watching it go by. Whether it was that apple, a pink elephant with dots, what I made for breakfast, what I ate, whatever it is, show self-compassion in this moment and tap into the fact that you are awareness. You are not that thought. You are awareness, aware of the thought passing by. Now we're going to go into a little bit of self-compassion. Self-compassion. I need you, whenever you're ready, to touch, to grab, to rub, to hug, to embrace, basically, a part on your body temple that you have not shown compassion to. Whether it was you every day, talking about how bad your hair is, how bad your skin is on your face, you don't like your elbows, you don't like your feet, wherever that place is on your body temple, I need you to go into a place of self-compassion and embrace that part on your body temple right now. Again, we're going to go embrace our body temple, a part on your body temple that you have self-sabotaged, that you have tore down, that you've beaten up, that you wouldn't even take a chance to look at, that you think other people judge right now. And while you're doing, I need you to feel yourself feeling yourself and say, this is me. That is you embracing you. And so I need you to come into the sense and realization that how alive you are. I need you to come into the sense and realization of the fact that you are awareness, simply awareness, energy, and you're not the body temple, but you are within this instrument vessel. This is what you have to live with the remainder days of your life. So you need to embrace it right now. I need you to captivate the feeling you're having right now, embracing yourself. You know you're embracing yourself. Do you feel that? You feel safe and just so warm. And you feel good. I need you to captivate that feeling. Lock it in. Say, wow, this is what compassion is. This is what self-love is. This is what honoring the body temple feels like. This is what it feels like to be authentic and free and at ease. This is me. And what I've been longing for. Okay, we're going to go into our breath work. Whenever you are ready, we're going to go back to center, as we said. Palms faced up and the thigh in the area. And we're going to get ready to do something called the bell-off breath. And I'm going to demonstrate for you. Whenever you're ready, you can open up your eyes softly and taking a look at me. I'm going to first show you the hand movement. You're going to come here. Elbows are close to the body. Hands are shoulder height. It's not tight. It's not like loose stitch. It feels pretty like, when you breathe in, you're going to go straight up. And hands are going to be wide like a frog. Then when you exhale, you're going to go back here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I'll show you guys. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And I'll show here. You're inhaling, right? Hands open up like this. Exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Hallelujah. Now, inhaling, we're going to do this breath work. It's through the nose and out the nose. So it's only through your nose. Right? And this breath work is all about energy. It's about liveliness. Even if you feel like you can't, it's about force. And understanding that you are the force, that you are the energy. So it's going like this. See what I'm saying? It's forceful. So the important part of it is forcing in, forcing out. Forcing in. Now, usually, because there's many forms of breath work, we're used to the belly breathing. This one is about the lungs. That's why it's called the bell-off, because it's a certain instrument, if you will, or vessel. It's like a blowing name. And in certain cultures, they look at that as the lungs. So this is all about rejuvenating the lungs. This breathing exercise is going to help you to rejuvenate and regenerate cells in your body by pushing new oxygen in and out of the body temple. That's what you're doing. So I want you to pay attention to the sensations you're going to feel when we go back to center, because what's going to happen is you're going to do rounds. So all you don't got to focus on the number count. I'll tell you. I'm going to say starting place. I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to say with you in, out to help you to know the speed. Because you don't want to go too slow, right? You want to go with it. You want to think lively, energy. So I'm going to say in, out, in, out. You're going to do that when I say come back to center. You're going to come right back to palms face up there. And then I'm going to say we're going to do 3 deep breaths. And we're going to in and still through the nose. Then I'm going to ask you, pay attention to the feeling. Because your natural self, the physical self might be like, oh, wow, I feel tingly. I feel lightheaded. But really, that's energy that you are, that's being free and flowing and at ease. You got to pay attention to that. Feel the oxygen, the new oxygen, the new life. You're going to feel it. I guarantee you. There's a no money back guarantee. You know why? Because I know that when you're done with this, watch how you're going to feel. For some of you, that wear glasses, you're going to see crisper. For some of you that had tension and pain, that's going to be gone. For some of you that when you started off couldn't get a deep breath, you're going to be released. But real quick, I need somebody to go grab, is it roll of tissue in that room? I mean, the paper towel. Like, just like a big roll. Okay. Is it in the, laundry? I gotta see this. Okay, quickly. Because you're going to dispel some things. So be prepared for that.
There's no toilet paper.
That's it, paper towel.
Yeah.
Can you go grab something? Now, one is coming out. You don't want to stop the round to wipe. You just wait till it's done. Let it drip. Let it free and let it be. And then when we go back to center, after we finish our deep breath, we can go ahead and wipe, okay? Everybody has their, if you want to put it, if you want to put it up there like a little bib, go ahead, because, you know, for some, it might be some spelling of things. Okay, let us go to our center. Center. Closing your eyes. We're going to do one deep cleansing breath here. In through the nose, out through the mouth this time. Bring it up. Even when you feel like you can't, take it all the way to that crown. Hold it there. And feel that energy that just got raised all the way to the top. Hold it. And when we let it out, we're going, slow though, but you need to make noise. Ready? And let it out. All the way. Once you push it all the way out, hold it there. When it's out, you want to hold the emptiness. You already did that? Hold it out. All the way till it's no more. And hold it there. And right now, I want you to captivate what your intention is today. A little more. What is your intention? What is your intention today? And when you find it, when you make peace with it, you can take your inward breath and breathe back normal. All right, we're prepared to get in our starting place. Starting place for the well-off breath. Starting place. Show elbows close to the body. Wrists pretty loose. Not super limp, not tight, but loose. We're about to get ready to take our first. Ready? In, out, 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 in, out. Center. 3 deep cleansing breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. In, 3, 2, 1. In, out, 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 and center. 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose. Nose, even if it feels stuffy, you can do it. Press through the stuffy, in through the nose, out through the nose. Now this last round, I need y'all, because some of y'all were not on it. And remember the liveliness. Right? lively, very lively. So let's go big on this last round, okay? Back to starting. Ready, and what? Almost. Go back to starting. Sorry. I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1. Right? 3, 2, 1. In, out, 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 in, out. Pick it up. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and center. Big cleansing breaths. Center hand, center hand, center hand. I want you to calculate how you're feeling. Physically, what your body feels. I want you to captivate how your mind feels. Still breathing. And when you're ready, I'm going to open your eyes and I'm going to play some music. When you hear the music, you have to dance like no one's watching. Whether that's in your seat or you get up and spread out. When music pauses, you have to pause. When it plays, you dance. When it pauses, you pause, right? I say no hold back, like nobody's watching freedom. When you're ready, open your eyes, you can cleanse your nose and prepare. All right, that's the end of our meditation. I want you to end with a big hug on yourself. And I want you to do something called the butterfly hug to yourself. And you're in a heart circle. Nice breaths. And make sure you hug someone else. Shalom. Rich's Family Mishpaka. That's the end of our meditation. And we will go forth with the teaching. One person has a testimony. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel vibrant. Light.
I just saw like last night I had a dream that I was like dancing and I was able to jump like 10 feet in the air, like just like jumping, and then I was breathing, like doing the bell out breathing, like it felt like my lungs and my mind were getting so filled with air that it was like a balloon kind of to where like that part of me was like floating because it was so filled with oxygen in the air. So when we were called to dance afterwards, it was like kind of like a reenactment of that dream almost. So wow. Really cool.
So you feel good?
I feel really good.
Super grateful. Someone's hating on you.
Can't stop me.
You feel good? Yeah, I feel like your hair better. You feel like your hair better. Yeah, I had that. That's how I was feeling that. Kind of blow it out. Yeah. So here, everything. Yeah. That's good. Super relaxed.
Just think about what I was thinking about. Several hours before that, and I was charging all day. Like I need to be good to just be like kind of warming up all that. All right. Hallelujah. All esteem to Yahuwah on this Kodesh Shabbat. Hallelujah. Prince was sleepy. Yeah, man. Today is definitely a tove. Somebody say tove. Somebody say tove with like 50 V's at the end. Tove word. Hallelujah. Tove word. We dealing with light, man. Hallelujah. No, but we're dealing with light. Hallelujah. Focus on Yahusha. That's been the word, obviously. And just with, and by the way, how tove was that breathing meditation? Tove. I gotta say this too. For anybody watching this that feels any type of way about meditation, understand that Yahuwah's name literally entails breath. So if you're a part of the awakening and you're one of those people that's freaked out by meditation, you don't know Yahuwah. You don't know what it means to exist, to breathe. So anybody getting educated on how to heighten their breathing function and process, to look at that as a negative thing is darkness. That's not light. That's a person with a low vibration and a low frequency. That person may need a ventilator at a certain point in their life. I'm just being real, because you don't understand the function of breath that that's the foundation of life. It's breath. Place a can in the room if that makes sense to you. Because you're gonna see that. We're gonna, Yahuwah has definitely Baruch Ma'isha with a knowledge and an awareness on the different type of breathing processes and just the overall function, the importance of breath. So I do want to just put that out there that this is huge, because we as a people, we need that. We need that to be in tune with ourselves, that we may be in tune with the divine creator, Yahuwah Elohim Zavuo. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We need that. So I just wanted to say that before we get into today's word, which we are going to get right into. Hallelujah. We picking up where we left off. I think the last focus on Yahusha word was regarding salt. Hallelujah. How many of y'all remember that word? How many of y'all been meditating on that, chewing on that thing? Hallelujah. Well, we picking up where we left off. Turn to Matthew chapter 5. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We picking up where we left off. All esteem to Yahuwah. And we're dealing with, again, the words of our King. And I want to say this too. At the end of the day, this is the eternal forever word that we're going to be focusing on. And this is ultimately going to help us to not only understand Yahusha better, but it's going to actually help us understand Torah better. Because you can't separate the two. It's a lot of people debating. A lot of people, oh man, we don't got to listen to the Old Testament stuff no more because we have the Messiah now. And then you got people, they teaching that stuff that they saying focus on Yahusha. Well, what about Torah? Listen, it's all one. We are under the order of Melchizedek. That literally means that everything Yah is going to speak is coming through the vein Yahusha. So these words that he spoke thousands of years ago, they're relevant now. They're ruach, they're life, their purpose, they're functional now. Hallelujah. So this is where we're going to be at, unless obviously the ruach directs me otherwise. This is where we're going to be. We're going to keep going and keep going and keep going until Yahuwah leads us in another direction. Or maybe Yahuwah like, hey, they ain't got it yet. Start over again. And guess what? We're going to be right back here focusing on the words of our King. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So picking up where we left off, which was, I believe we only read verse 13. We just did that one verse when we dealt with salt, which is so powerful. And obviously the word salt, right, taking you back to Malah, the idea of what brings out the goodness or the flavor or the good properties, the good characteristics, ruachally, in other individuals, right? You being the salt of the earth, right? Let's pick up in verse 14, right? He says, so after he spoke that word, right? You are the salt of the earth, right? The salt has lost its savor. And we talked about what a savor is. It's an aura, right? It's an aroma. It's a smell that is ruachally an atmosphere that you project by how you move, how you carry yourself, right? So basically he's saying, if it's lost its savor, and it's not good for anything but to be trodden under the foot of men, right? Verse 14. So directly after that, he says, you, somebody say you. You. Point to the person next to you. Say you. 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 Right? Say me. 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 Me? Me? Me. 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 Hallelujah. You are the light of the world. Woo! Somebody say, woo! Woo! Huge. Obviously, we're going to chop it down, break it up, break it down, cooking down, stewing down, all of that. But let's just read the fullness, and then we're going to, line by line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. We're going to break this thing down, right? So he says, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a menorah, and it gives light unto all that are in the house. Verse 16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works, and esteem, some versions say glorify, but we choose to go with the word esteem, your Father which is in heaven, right? So this is a lot here that he's saying, right? So first things first, we got to deal with that first line where he says, you are the light of the world. You are the light, right? Now, who is he talking to? I know it sounds uncomfortable, but we just got to be real. Who's he talking to? He's talking to us, but who is he talking to? He's talking to Yisrael, right? And it's important for us to point this out because there is a narrative that surrounds us as Yah's people in the earth that has been created based off of our trauma and our dysfunction. Follow me. That is totally outside of what Yahusha is saying here, even though what Yahusha is saying here is still relevant and true to this very day. We are still the light of the world, right? But guess what? Trauma dims your light. I want everybody to write that down. Trauma dims your light. Trauma. Wounds. Right? A lot of the stuff that we've been covering, right? But you have to understand this because him saying this to Israel is ultimately him not only highlighting the order of salvation, but he's also highlighting the order of how Yah distributes his power. Why? Because light is Yahuwah. Or I should say Yahuwah is light. Write that down. Yahuwah is light. And we have to start understanding that light is not just what allows you to see, even though that's a very important component. But light is power. And I ain't just talking about DTE. If your lights get cut off, dang, you ain't got no power, you ain't got no electricity, you ain't got no TV, you ain't got your food in the refrigerator goes bad, you can't do work on the computer now, you can't, there's a bunch of things that you can't do when the physical power goes out, right? But this is Ruach power, where it all begins, in the unseen realm, right? So light in itself, it is power. Now, of course, we are going to go over the Hebrew definition of what light is. Hebraically, of course, that's it's concrete. But I'm letting the Ruach flow right now because a lot of us are not able to see Yah's power in the light that we should because trauma has dimmed, I should say, darkened. We're going to go deeper into that word because Mashiach he's really speaking Hebrew here. He's not speaking English. And the words that he's saying are a lot deeper than the idea of a light being dimmed, right? It's darkness. See, when trauma dims your light, really darkness replaces your light. And that's not the order that Yahuwah set up from the beginning. Right? Obviously, we're gonna. It's a lot of places we're gonna go to today. This is such a heavy word and such a heavy topic that I really hope nobody's in a rush today because we're gonna be taking our time with this. We can't just, the best meals are not fast food meals. I hope y'all know that, right? This ain't no fast food meal because it's ultimately how Yahuwah expects us to operate moving forward. It's an expectation. If you're hearing this word, you're hearing the sound of my voice, which is a portal for the voice of Yahusha Hamashiach, who is speaking the words of Yahuwah, there's an expectation for you to operate as light moving forward, which first means dealing with these traumas, dealing with these wounds and these places that cause people to remain victims and not conquerors. See, if you're going to function as a light, man, you're a conqueror. You're a champion. The question is, what type of champion are you going to be? Hallelujah. I'm a champion. I got a faith belt. Hallelujah. People got black belts and, you know what I'm saying? They got these heavyweight Yo, I got a faith belt. Period. Period. You know why? Because when darkness comes around, I dispel it with the light that's within me. Facts. Big facts. But guess what? I'm not the only person that's supposed to be operating like this. This is how all Yashrael and those grafted into Yashrael are supposed to function and operate. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But I've been doing work though. Maisha as well. And others within this fold, I know, been doing work. Why? Because I see the changes. I see the growth. I see the elevation. I see the thriving. I see the aura, right? I see the savor changing and elevating on certain individuals. For some, slower than others, but I do see it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So saying all this to say, this is critical. For any type of light to be working, darkness got to be dispelled. You know what trauma is? It's darkness, man. It's an experience in darkness that has remained in your body and it has affected your mind. The way that you think, the way that you see things. That's what darkness is. Now, again, we're going to, trust me, we got time today. Somebody say, I got time if you got time today. I got time today. Hallelujah. It's the Shabbat. I got all the time today. Hallelujah. So we're going to deal with some Hebrew words, but I'm just laying a foundation that this idea of Yahusha saying, you are the light, it's so huge. You know why? Because he's the light. A transfer of energy went forth when Mashiach spoke this to the multitude. I hope you realize that. Anytime you're in an atmosphere where any type of, we talked about this, I think this might have been last week on the Shabbat word. There's an exchange with other individuals in any interaction, right? So he's giving them power by speaking this word, which actually is true, right? It's, like I said, it's a lot of precepts we're going to go to. We're going to look how it was prophesied in Isaiah, right? That Yashrael it's the light of the world, right? We are the light, but guess what? We've experienced trauma. Why? Because we left Torah. We forsook Yahusha Hamashiach after this transfer of energy. Some of our ancestors that heard this very word hung him. Right? Turned on him. Right? So yeah, we have to start seeing light not just as what allows you to see the sun, the moon, the stars. Yeah. No. Powers. Light it's the first extension of Abba Yahuwah's power. Woo! Light. It's the first extension of Abba Yahuwah's power. Right? Thomas Edison didn't invent electricity. We're going to deal with that too. Electricity comes from the source Yahuwah. And he first created it in man. Why? Because you are an electromagnetic radiation being. There's electromagnetic radiation within you. I'm going to deal with that later, right? But yeah, it's already within you. So what was Thomas Edison on? No, Thomas Edison was in an environment and in an atmosphere where the need was met, and he was actually so in tune with the divine frequency of Yahuwah that he was able to put natural resources on this earth together to tap in to Yahuwah's powers, his source powers, to bring it to pass in objects in this earth realm. But it first began in the unseen realm. You follow me? Put a 2 in the room if you follow me and you with me. Like this light, I'm telling you, this light it's not random that we got double ring light today. Why? Because we dealing with this very subject of light. And the root is deeper than what we see in the physical, man. It's in the unseen realm. It's the power, it's the source power of Abba Yahuwah Elohim Zavuo. Hallelujah. So again, we have to see Yah as the source of everything. But again, it first began with light, right? So you are the light of the world, right? Now, when he says you are the light of the world, we know that this word are really goes back to the Hebrew word hawa, which means to be, to exist as. Also, not random, breath. So guess what? To tap into this light source power, guess what is one thing that does need to be in order in your physical temple? Your breath. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, again, we've established he's talking to Israel, right? We've established that Yah is light, right? And we've also established that light is not just what allows you to see, but it's also power. I want you to write this down too. Light is also influence. It's also influence, which causes people to look at you. See, this is ultimately why in our dysfunction, Israel has the influence on the world that we do, right? I'm just saying how the media says it. Black people, right? Our culture is bitten on by every other culture. You know why? Because even in our dysfunction and in our darkness, we still have influence. And the world follows that influence. Go ahead, Queen. Hallelujah. That's what it is. I'm going to just be real. We out here talking about rap and drugs and all this other stuff. So guess what? You got, other communities capitalizing financially on that, which I ain't going to get into that. That's a whole that's a whole synagogue of Hasatan conversation that we're not going to deal with in this word, right? But even beyond that, it's the influence, and that's how they're able to make money off of it. If it's not influencing nobody, they're not going to make no money off of it. So no. They wouldn't do it, no, but there's an influence. Hallelujah. Just saying. And I'm just using this as an example. Japanese people influence the entire world. Everybody all over the earth will be doing whatever they're doing in Japan, but they're not, right? It's Israel. So what Mashiach is saying is she's true. You're the light of the world. Now let's deal with this word world. This word world. Cosmos. Right? It's the flow. It's the operation. Watch this. It's the operation of exchanges between earthly beings in this earthly realm. It's the operation of exchanges. Right? You might find some other definitions, but to me, that was the definition that the Ruach gave me because it applies to this word and what we're talking about. It's the order of operations, right? How things work. You live in a house, you pay rent. That's the order of operation in this earth realm. You go to work, you get married. I'm just saying, you go to school, you do all these things. It's the order of operations, right? Don't have to go deep into that. So now this is what I want to deal with before we go deeper into the definition of light. I want to finish out this verse 14 where he says, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. So when he's talking about a city, again, we're not just talking about the physical city in Jerusalem. We're talking about the people. Hallelujah. It's talking about the actual people, right? Can't be hidden. That's ultimately why no matter how many people pull the truth out, and no matter how many sponsorships they lose by whatever company funds they show or they music or they movies and all this other stuff, and no matter how many times they want to apologize to certain communities and individuals for actually speaking the truth cannot be hidden. Right? Whatever's done in the darkness must come to light. Right? So it don't matter. Nick Cannon, whoever, you can apologize to whoever, but it still is not going to hide the fact that somebody say you are the light of the world. It's just what it is. But again, Yah has an expectation for us to no longer use this influence, because the influence part we got down for sure. We got the influence part down. It's the power we don't have down. We don't have the power. That power thing is off because of the wounds, because of the traumas, right? And yeah, we could put the whole thing on slavery, but it began before slavery. It began when we rejected our king, right? No, seriously, that's really when it began. It began around that time period, right? So, all right, let's deal with the Hebrew word light. It's the Hebrew word awar, right? I'm not going to give you the letters. That's going to be your job to look them up if you don't have them already. But it is the Hebrew word awar. And it ultimately goes back to the idea of order and boxes. Because boxes are used or were used by our ancestors, right, to store items and keep them in order. But light was necessary for this to take place, which is why our ancestors would do the majority of their work, if not all of their work, when? During the day, right? So this is where the idea of light, Hebraically, the root of it comes from, right? Order. So when we talk about, ministries, assemblies, and all this other stuff, yeah, there's an order, ruachally, for how Yahuwah distributes his light, which is power. Hallelujah. This is one of the reasons why, I'm going to just be real, when people do get wounded and come out of orders and they have like this stigmatism with ministries and orders, it technically does cut off that power source, because they're no longer connected. If I pull all the sinks and all the toilets and all the shower heads out of your house, right? I'm not saying you won't get water, but what's going to happen to that water when it comes into that room with no sink or no toilet? It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be flooded out. And what's going to happen to the house? It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be useless. It's going to be dysfunctional. I'm telling you, this is the mindset of, or this is what happens to the minds of individuals who have experienced traumas and wounds and have not gone through this healing process that Yahuwah is requiring us to go through in order to have a structure and a format for that power he's giving us through Yahusha. And how does this all relate to light? Because light not only allows you access to, again, that direct power in order to be able to do things, but it allows you to see, to be able to do functional work. And when I say see, I'm not just saying see physically. That's a picture. It's really to be able to see ruachally. And when I say see ruachally, hear me. I'm saying vision. What's within you? I'm saying purpose, vision. I'm not saying, oh man, you got 20, 30 eyesight. You got 20, 20. No, get out the flesh. I'm talking ruachally. What do you see? What has Yah placed within you? What vision? Somebody say life vision.
Life vision.
Life visioning. Hallelujah. No, that's good. Because I'm telling you that this is ultimately how you're able to use the influence as power to point people to Yahuwah. That's all Yahusha is saying in this verse, these 3 verses, right? People make it more complex than it is, but it's very important to get this. Like, I feel like people understand this, but they don't apply this because they can't see it because of the traumas. They can't operate in it because of the traumas. Right? So look, light is necessary for order. This is connected to the definition for awar, right? So the der in order ultimately goes back to the Hebrew word for order. So if you were to just look up the Hebrew word for order, right, it's foundationally going to take you back to this definition for light, right? Now, this also means light, bright, and enlightened. To light or to illuminate, right? So what does it mean to illuminate, right? You talking about the Illuminati here? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. The word illuminate means to supply or brighten with light, right? To shine or make visible. To make clear, or watch this, y'all. To bring clarity spiritually or intellectually. See, that's the power element of light. The power element of light that again comes from Yahuwah through Yahusha HaMashiach. It's supposed to bring clarity to other individuals on Ruach matters. That's what we as Israel are function. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But how are we doing that? And we using our influence to get people to fornicate. We using our influence to get people to swipe and to commit fraud and theft. I'm just saying, we're using our influence to get people to I don't know, you do drugs. And I'm talking about like sell drugs to destroy our community and not, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that we're using our influence to do. We're using our influence to get people in our community to marry people outside of the community and other races. And it's crazy. Why? Again, because that power element is missing. There's no illumination. We're not illuminating nobody or nothing, right? So I want to say this too. It says not only to make clear and to bring clarity spiritually, but watch this, intellectually. Right. Israel, our function is we're supposed to be bringing clarity to the rest of the world, all the other nations of the world. We are supposed to be bringing clarity to them intellectually. Now we got to talk about what intellect is, right? It's the idea of a working mind. A working mind, working reasoning, which really is just how your mind works. Now, I do have to say this. You are not your mind. Shout out. The queen that loves lo-fi. No, seriously though. You are not your mind. There's a separation between your mind works for you. Your mind is a compartment of the vessel being that Yahuwah created you to dwell in. But you are not your mind. Your mind and your heart, one in the Hebrew word leb, right? They're one and the same. But you are not your mind. But watch this. People operate out of trauma because they've gone through a dark situation, and that dark situation has caused a stain in their mind. And guess what? They perceive themselves to be their mind. And their mind is working dysfunctionally. Their mind creates defense mechanisms that are really not defense mechanisms. They're really destruction mechanisms. Whew, that was deep. That's really what they are. That's what the mind does, because guess what? This trauma has taken control of this person's mind. So everything that they see and they perceive is now darkened. It's not light. So what the mind does, it says, okay, well, I'm going to protect myself. But in the mind protecting itself is really damaging itself, because it's doing things that are preventing its own healing. So guess what? You, as the awakened individual Ruach being that you are, you have to take back control and authority over your mind. This is so good. This is why the script says, be ye not conformed to the world, but be what? Transformed by what? The renewal of your, put a 10 in the room if that just hit your ruach. Hallelujah. I feel the ruach hakodesh.
Yes. Gratitude to the presence.
And how is this dealing with light? Because once you do that, then the light can flow through you. If I put my hand on the end of a flashlight where the light is people going to be able to see the light behind that? Of course not. But if I remove that hand, oh, baby, that light going to shine. Hallelujah. And whatever task I'm trying to do, I'm going to be able to accomplish. Go ahead, Queen.
Shout out to the king that loves hip hop in here. So, I want to talk about the vanity of the ego real quick. I feel like this is like a good little input of that.
Okay.
Because, you know, we aren't our minds. We are awareness. We are energy that is flowing through this body temple, right? Our minds was given to us, right? And what happened is that, like you said, through the trauma and the darkness, it tainted the mind that began to create its own like thoughts and certain things that we begin to allow to operate instead of us as the awareness being able to be the ones that's inputting and, you know, being conscious and intuitive and intentional in our actions. It became flop. So that's what we mean by we say you're not your mind, because the mind is just a vessel. It's a control room, right? That we're supposed to be able to operate ourselves, right? Under the influence of Yah and Yahusha. Like through him giving a pathway, a direction, right? We taking that and then we, you know what I'm saying, implementing that in the mind to operate. But what happened is we took the trauma, those experiences of the darkness, right? And that began to produce a pathway that is influencing us in our behaviors now.
Okay.
So what I feel like the Ruach is saying to us is for us to take our minds back.
Hallelujah.
You see what I'm saying? We are the awareness. We're not the thoughts that are passing through our awareness. You see what I'm saying? There are thoughts that pass through our awareness, and we, as the awareness, have the options of what we embrace and choose to cleave to, right? You see what I'm saying? So the vanity of the ego, like, it tries to take absolute ownership over the thoughts. You ever heard them say, that's my idea, my thoughts? Like, it's like, that's the vanity of the ego, right? And this happens, you know, the thought forms that pass our awareness, we have to begin to understand that these thought forms come from the world or things, right? Like, and we just end up embracing it. We don't check our mind. We have to, it's time for us to start checking our minds. You ever check somebody because they said something? Check your mind.
Right.
It'd be like, yo, let me check. See, we let thoughts go, even if it's just random, blatant ones. We let it come and we let it just like, and not seeing how we end up subconsciously embracing it and like go into it instead of like checking it right there at the door.
So good.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these thoughts we picked up from, you know, social media and news and whatever else, that we have to start seeing that this is where these thoughts stimulate from. So none of these thoughts are really yours. Like, that's my idea, my thoughts, right? So, yeah, check your minds.
Okay. No, for sure. That's for sure. That's told. That's good, because it's like your mind will deceive you. You ever hear that term, my mind playing tricks on me? It happens because of trauma. It's the root of it. Seriously, it's the root of it. And again, it's a dark experience that causes the mind to glitch, if you will. Think of your mind as a computer. You feel me? Think of your mind as a computer. And if you drop the computer, or if you're just not taking care of the computer how it should be, or the computer has an experience that is a negative experience, right? Oftentimes, what happens? It affects the function of the computer, right? That little hourglass going way too long sometime. You feel me? Like, and again, that's just one example of it. But, and you have to check that mind in a certain type of way to where it gets it back on track to what its purpose and its function is, which is why people have to have a vision. You ain't got no reason to check your mind if you ain't got no vision. You're not seeing nothing. There's no goal that you're working towards. So why does your mind need to be intact? I'm just saying. That is the worst type of person for the cosmos. Is a person that doesn't have a vision. Right? So anyway, getting off of that tangent. This idea of illumination, yeah, it's the idea of bringing clarity, right? Spiritually, right? And intellectually, which is the idea of bringing soundness to the function of how one's mind operates. If my interaction with you doesn't help how my mind is able to work for me as a Ruach being submitted under Yahuwah through the vein Yahusha Hamashiach, then our interaction is pointless. Ain't no point. I mean, that's ultimately why as you elevate Ruachally, your circle changes, right? Seriously. There's no reason. What's the point? A lot of people when I was friends with high school, college, even after, we don't hang no more because I'm way up in the Shamayim with my vision, with my clarity, with my focus, with my family, with my tribe, with the light, the power source, with the function of my mind being intact to bring to pass the perfect will of Yahuwah, hallelujah, in this earth realm. That's what it is. If you're not on that, then it's really not much conversation that we gonna have. I mean, shoot, it'd be hard for me to even just connect with Miss Pakinah because I'll be so busy with so many things. But praise Yah, it's like that's the goal, that's the focus, right? In being the light. It's not just using that, because watch this, if you don't have no vision, you still can influence other people. Because regardless of if you tap into the power element of it or not, you're still the light of the world, Israel. So guess what? If you're in dysfunction, you're influencing others in dysfunction. That's just how it goes, right? Now, the last part of this word, illuminate, I know it's taking a minute to deal with this word, but when the Ruach be flowing, we just let it flow. The idea of intellect is not only a working mind, but please write this down. Because light deals direct. The more light that you have, the greater your intellect will be. Why? Because intellect is not only a working mind, but it is a capacity for knowledge. It's a capacity, meaning it's the idea of what you are able to contain knowledge-wise, which obviously is through experience. Being able to learn from those experiences and apply what you learn and become better, become more efficient, become more accurate, become more sound. Watch this, bring more value to not just yourself, but to everybody around you. If you ain't bringing value, then what? It goes back to what Mashiach was saying about the salt. What good is the salt if it lost its same principle with the light? Hallelujah. So this is what it is. And so again, when we, I know, especially Hebrews, we hear that term, illuminate, Illuminati. Ooh, that's weird. No, function. The capacity to contain knowledge. Now again, as far as the actual organization, hey, you research that on your own. I ain't even gonna go deep into that. You know what I'm saying? People do worship Hasatan and all that other stuff, but that's not what the point of this word is about. The actual light, the illumination coming from Yahuwah through Yahusha that is within you, Israel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's what it is. So let's keep going. Let's read this next verse. It says in verse 15, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel but on a menorah, right? So basically he's telling them, yo, I'm lighting your candle right now. Remember, this is an exchange he's having with the multitude. I'm lighting your candle right now. You can take it or leave it, right? But I'm putting you on a menorah. No, matter of fact, Yahuwah been put Yashrael on a menorah, but he sent me here because y'all fooling, and I'm the way to the Father for real, right? He says, and it gives light unto all that are in the house. So again, it's the idea of enhancing. It's really a very, like, in what Mashiach is saying, the principle is the same as the salt. You being that light, you are going to enhance everyone and everything around you for them to function better in whatever their purpose and their vision is supposed to be. But if you're not doing that, then you're not the light. Why? Because there's darkness within you. Right? Yeah. Then he says in verse 16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and esteem your Father which is in heaven. So what when he says let your light shine, ultimately what he's saying is again, there's work you have to do to allow the light that is already naturally placed within you by powers for you to function at a level to where you have both the power component down and the influence component down. It's work you got to do. See, it's not random that Yahuwah gave this word of healing to us to carry out to the nations, because that's where it begins. Hallelujah. That's where it begins. That's where the journey begins. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So look, write this down. Light activation begins with wholeness. So that's where it begins. You still got things within you that you have not addressed. We talked about this, I think, last week or the week before. That thing that every time that topic come up, it make you quiver, it make you mad, it make you feel a certain type of way. You just don't want to deal with it. That's probably what Mashiach is saying when he's like, yo, let your light shine. Deal with it. Matter of fact, when that thing comes up, observe it without judgment so you can really see the root. Hallelujah. I mean, let's just be real. You got a toothache. You're not just going to walk around with a toothache forever. No, man, you're going to eventually, you're going to get a dental appointment and really see what's going on. But why do we do that when it comes to how we are emotionally, even mentally? We just let things fester. No, let that light shine, because whatever that thing is blocking the light from shining. So yeah, light activation, it begins with wholeness, right? So look, what Yahusha is saying overall in this, because we're about to branch off and look at some precepts and kind of go deeper into this idea of Israel being the light and why this work is necessary based off the influence that we have, because Yahuwah still judges you based off of the influence that he gives you. This is ultimately why leaders have the judgment upon them that they do, because you influence, right? So look, we in function bring order, clarity, and function to the rest of the world. We set the tone, right? And again, you got to remember there is a positive and a negative aspect to every principle when it comes to this script, right? If we're not functioning in wholeness as light beings, vibrationally as Mashiach does, then again, us being the light is pointless, right? So again, this is one of the issues in Israel, within and outside of the awakening, is that we're not operating as the light because we're not whole. It's just things we don't want to deal with. We're busying ourselves with work that is really vanity. Because what's the end game? What's the end goal of this work to do? Right? No. Our nation, man, we traumatized. Just be real. Again, operating out of traumas is darkness, and it's not light. It's the hand over the flashlight, right? So look, write this down, because now we got to deal with darkness. Darkness is the opposition of light, right? Now, obviously, one of the main reasons our nation is traumatized is, there's a lot of things that it's going to go to slavery. But what is the root of slavery? Nobody wants to talk about that. You just want to put Europeans, they just wicked, man. They're so wicked. That's the white man is the devil. Well, hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Did not Deuteronomy 28 say if we forsake Yahuwah, then all of these curses would be upon us? So the root goes back to us not following Torah, which in itself is light. Right? That's why Dawood said, your word, it's a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path. So that's obviously another huge component of this whole light thing, man. It's the word of Yah. I'm talking about the specific word of Yah for you. I'm not talking about just what you're reading in the scripts, because there's a lot of people that have knowledge of this script and they like dimmer than, I don't know, somebody in the world that you know for sure is in darkness. Because you can know script and still live in darkness. Just be real. What you think Christianity is about? Why you think homosexuality is the way it is in Christianity, in these churches, these musicians, and these... Because, again, they know the script, but they don't... There's dimness over their light, right? So, let's talk about this, right? Darkness is the Hebrew word hashek, right? And again, I'm not going to really go over the letters. You should have, many times we done talked about the Strongs and the lexicon. You should have access to all that, and you should know it, really. But it's the idea of a dark place, right? Ruachally and physically, right? Dimness. See, this is the actual word Mashiach is using here when he says a city on a hill cannot be hidden. He's saying a city on a hill that's really functioning in light cannot be, you can't be subject to this dark force that's within you. But why are you? Because you're not letting your light shine. You're not doing the necessary things for your, I don't even want to just say your mind, because it's deeper than your mind. It's your body. It's for your being, your awareness, because we're not in tune with who we are. We're not living as beings from within. We're living from without. We're living from other things that are not our actual true selves, which is why there's no authenticity, right? No, seriously, we're not used. That's why we're uncomfortable interacting with others, with each other, because we're not grounded in ourselves. Hallelujah. And then when the Ruach presents us with opportunities to dive deeper into ourselves when it comes to knowing who we are and whose we are, we look at them as demonic. Oh man, they talking vibrations, frequency, chakras, breathing, and all this other stuff. Man, that's what them Hindu people, that's what the esoteric world do. That's demonic. It's like, well, hold on. The source is who? So if I'm using these things functionally and I already know, I know for sure that I'm connected to the vine, Yahusha, two source powers. Is it really demonic for me to use this for my function and watch this, removing the dimness from my light that has been caused from traumas and interactions with people over and over and over again in my life? Of course it's not. But again, that thought comes from a low vibrational place. Darkness. Fear is darkness. Write that down. Fear is darkness. Fear is hashek. Do you know figuratively, and you can see this actually in Bible Hub, but when you look up the word darkness, again, obviously it's going to point you to the Hebrew word hashek. But when you look at the figurative synonyms to the word, right? You got misery. Misery. Misery loves company. That's ultimately why you can't tell everybody about your vision. You got to be very specific and strategic with who you're sharing your plans and your goals with. Because of their misery, they might discourage you. Oh, man, don't do that, man. You're going to lose all your money, man. Oh, man, don't do that, man. They going to look at you like you crazy, man. Oh, don't do that, man. Oh, man, all that stuff, man, you're going to get sued. They going to sue you, man. Oh, man, don't do that, man. You're going to go bald. You're going to go bald doing that. Don't grow your hair out, man. I'm just using simple things. Don't tell them about an actual vision. Oh, man. If a person is in misery because of their darkness and Hoshek, I'm trying to tell you, man, this is associated with this word for darkness. So how can a light shine through that? So anyway, misery, destruction, death, ignorance. Stop. Ignorance. Right? My people perish for a lack of what? Knowledge. And what is knowledge? Experience. So wait a minute. Yahuwah is opening you up to this experience to free you from a type of darkness in your life. But because so-and-so said that it was demonic, I'm just being real. Because so-and-so said it was demonic, even though they have no real knowledge, they just saw a YouTube video and was spooked out, right? Sage is demonic. No, hold on. I'm just saying, that is ignorance. It's associated with darkness. So guess what's going to happen to you by operating in that or listening to somebody that's caught up in this type of mindset at this low vibrational frequency? You're going to miss that experience and you're going to stay in the same place. See, this is why people don't elevate. They're uneducated on certain things. Yes, can certain things be used demonically? Of course. Shoot, you can use food demonically. You can use anything. People use sex demonically. But did Yahuwah create sex demonically? No. He created it purposefully for procreation and for pleasure for a man and a woman that's married, obviously. Hallelujah. But again, does that make that in itself demonic? No. But I'm just using sage as an example. People think that that's demonic because you got, some people in Mexico and the Latin world, they use it demonically, so they think that it's just demonic. No, sage is an actual plant that Yahuwah created. Sorry, got to go here, expose it, but it's just the truth. That's ignorance. You're ignorant. And you're going to stay in the same place unless you come out of that. You're going to miss the true function, the good properties and the characteristics of things y'all planted in this earth for man. Hallelujah. So look, we ain't even done yet. Sorrow, wickedness, obscurity. Now we got to deal with this one. Something that's obscure is unclear. And what I mean by that is the idea of a fogginess around something. And it's a physical picture of something. I'm talking about ruachali, which is why you have to seek Yah for clarity on your vision. It's up to you to do that. It's not Yah's responsibility to do that. But have you written these things down? Just be real. Have you? Have you actualized these things? Come on, man. Have you discussed these things with somebody else that is, watch this, knowledgeable, that has experience in this area that can help you on this? I'm just saying these are things that you got to do. Otherwise, you're going to stay in obscurity. And that obscurity is a part of darkness. And obscurity goes hand in hand with misery because you ain't got clarity on your vision. Next thing you know, you miserable because your business ain't taking off. But did you do any steps to move it forward? Did you sacrifice some sleep, some meals, some conversation, some personal me alone time to do this, I don't want to say thing, this purpose that Yah has placed within you? Oh, well then you're the reason why you're miserable. Don't put your misery on me. We moving with the vision. Hallelujah. We running with the vision over here. Matter of fact, we running so fast with the vision that we about to fly with the vision. Hallelujah. Because that's just what it is. Hallelujah. So yeah, all of this stuff goes back to a low vibrational frequency. That's what darkness is, right? So now look, this is deep. Go to Genesis 1. Obviously, we got to go here. This is deep, man. Okay, Genesis 1. Because this is ultimately the first time that you even see these terms being used. So obviously, we got to go foundationally here and point out some principles. Hallelujah. 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 It's funny while we turning there. That word ignorant, it's so obvious because it's like it's really like the idea of ignoring. You ignoring your purpose because you heard something that you didn't seek out on your own. Crazy. So anyway, Genesis 1. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, in the beginning, Bereshit, right? Elohim, powers, created, bara, Aleph Tav, the heavens, and Aleph Tav, the earth. Hallelujah. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void. And what was on the face of the deep? Darkness. Hashek. What we just talked about. But look. It says, and the Ruach Elohim, or the Ruach of Elohim, the Ruach of powers, right? It's the first time that we see the word Ruach in the script, right? That's how we know he is Ruach. Hallelujah. He moved upon the face of the waters, right? So we got this darkness going on in the creation that Yahuwah just made. We see the first thing that's being pointed out is that there's darkness on the face of the deep, right? Let's read verse 3. And Elohim power said, let there be what? Light. Let there be a war. Let there be a order. Hold on. So darkness is not only misery, confusion, obscurity, all the characteristics that we just brought out in that idea of Hashek, low vibrational frequency, but it is disorder. Right? No, man. Elohim said, let there be. First time, and then watch this. He said, he spoke. See, this is ultimately why you have to take back your mind. Because what goes on in your mind dictates what comes out of your words. That's how you're snared by the words of your mouth. Oh, man, I can't do this because I can try, but I don't know. I'm so confused. I'm so lost. Listen, you're putting yourself in a deeper, darker hole. You're Hoshek if you're doing that. No. You got to be aware. No, man, I'm doing this. We doing this. No, we good. Hallelujah. We good. Now, don't let your words be vanity. Don't be saying all this and then you're not actually doing the work behind it to make those words valid and profitable, right? I used to hear my dad say this all the time. But hey, man, don't be writing no check that your behind can't cash. Ooh, that's illegal. That's fraud. Just saying. No. We good because you're doing the actual work to validate that you are good. And guess what? Oftentimes, it begins with words. It begins with you making a conscious decision to speak specific, intentional words every day to begin your day. Hallelujah. I am divine masculine energy. I emerged from Yahuwah Elohim Zavo'o. I'm connected to powers through divine Yahusha. Hallelujah. Yahuwah blesses the work of my hands. I can do all that comes to my mind in function and in my purpose. I elevate at the frequency of light, which is Yahusha. Hallelujah. I'm just giving y'all insight to what I say to myself every single day. Which is why I can say I got a faith belt. Because I actually have a faith belt. I've been doing the work for a faith belt. And it ain't just fasting and praying and reading the script, man. It's meditation. Hallelujah. It's taking care of my temple, my body, my diet. It is the breathing. It is the social interactions. Hallelujah. That build me up and don't tear me down. Hallelujah. So let's keep going. This is verse 4. And Elohim, verse 3. And Elohim said, let there be light. So he spoke words. He spoke this word light when it was dark. All that Hoshek. He like, hold on. He spoke. And guess what? And there was light. The situation changed when Yah spoke. Do you know that you are made in the image and likeness? You emerged from the image and likeness from Abba Yahuwah Elohim Zava'o. That's why you can say the words that I speak. That's why Mashiach could say boldly, the words that I'm speaking, they ruach their life. They ruach and they are life. There's an exchange going forth right now. Whether you want to perceive it or not, that's on you. But I'm giving you this power through the words that I'm speaking. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. See, this is what we got to be doing when it comes to our interactions with the rest of the world. If we're not doing that, what's the purpose of claiming Israel? I'm awakened, but I'm walking around traumatized. No, man. That's dysfunctional. You're spreading your cancer, your disease, your dis-ease, your dysfunction. And Yahuwah's like, nah, vibrational frequency, I'm raising it. And guess what? I'm going to do it for people outside of the awakening so that y'all can see that I'm real. I'll bring him into alignment and all that other stuff later. But guess what? I'm doing this around people. I'm doing this to people outside of the awakening so that you can see that my light is real. And if you don't do what you're supposed to, that's on you. No, he spoke words. This is why I'm trying to tell you, if you don't get nothing else from this word, that light, it begins by the words that the light activation. Yeah, healing wholeness, which is a component of healing. Yes, it is the foundation. But in your healing, man, you got to be speaking these words of life and light to yourself daily, multiple times a day. That's what an affirmation is. It's affirming what is true. Even if the circumstance might not look like it, guess what? You speak to it enough in boldness and firmness and with faith and belief, it's going to change. Hallelujah. So look, Elohim saw Aleph Tav the light. He perceived the light and he saw it was good after he spoke this. And Elohim, watch this, divided the light from the darkness. So when he spoke this light, this is so deep. I pray that y'all can get this. When he spoke the light, darkness was still there. Why would he have to separate it? Seriously, why would he have to separate light from darkness if darkness wasn't still present after he spoke the light? See, this is why when you're beginning your vision and your healing journey, certain things that are darkness might still be there, but guess what? You have to make the separation. Somebody say separation. Separation. You have to make the separation. You got to make the separation. Hallelujah. And you do that, watch this. First, through healing, but I'm telling you, you do it with your words and with your actions, deciding to actually protect what you're building, protecting your energy. And when I say energy, I'm talking about your ruach. Hallelujah. I mean, I know y'all know that, but this is for somebody in my ruach is energy. Hallelujah. It's just the truth. So this is the foundation. This is a foundational principle in life. It's a foundational principle in life. After you establish light, there's got to be a separation from darkness. But light does have to be established. Otherwise, how are you going to be able to distinguish the light from the darkness? You won't. That's obscurity. And that's why obscurity automatically goes into the darkness component. Because you can't mistake the light. Hallelujah. But darkness, anything can go in a dark room and you ain't gonna know what's in that dark room. Why? Because there's no light to bring a distinction or a separation. Hallelujah. But again, you have to make the conscious decision to do this to elevate. Hallelujah. So, and this is how we get day. So look, he says, and Elohim saw the light that it was good. Allah taught the light that was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were what? First day. See, this is why we begin resting on Shabbat evening, on that Friday evening, bringing in the next day. Why? Because this is the order of what was in the beginning. Period. Hallelujah. So look, let's talk about this. Why is there darkness in the world now? There's darkness in the world now because Israel's light is dim. Woo! Somebody say, woo! That's why there's darkness in the world. Well, no, the devil in the beginning, he deceived Chua. Yeah, he did. But we're not even under the order of Adam anymore. We're under the order of Mashiach. Melchizedek, Yahusha HaMashiach. Saying all this to say, watch this. Saying all this to say, what does it have to do with Israel? Because we're still influencing the world. And look at what our influence has created. I'm trying to tell you. And again, you can't even just blame, because we blame the devil for so many things. I'm just being real. We blame the devil for so much. The devil caused this trauma. The devil did this. No, Mashiach said, let your light shine. He didn't say go and fight the devil and go shoot up and bang, bang. Hold on. He said resist the devil. Guess what resisting the devil is? Separating the light from the darkness. So you just resist. You just, hey, okay, cool. That's what you want. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to let you go that way. And cool. I don't have to sue you. I don't have to say anything about you. I don't have to make videos about you. Hey, do what you do. That's your energy. That's what you're choosing to put in your ruach. That's what you're focused on. That's what your thought life is. Those are the words that you're speaking. This is what I'm on. It's a higher vibration. It's a higher frequency. I'm above that. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
If this is resonating with you, say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
This is what it is, but we have to daily do this though. We can't just do this on Shabbat when we feel good. You know, we got our Shabbat clothes on and we got our Shabbat meals prepped and we know we're going to get some sleep and all that. No. This is a daily thing. I'm saying this is how you get results, is doing it consistency. Hallelujah. So, who brought their drum? Give us some drums for a second. Brief intermission real quick. Yeah, I'll bring, you ain't got to move, I can bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. Just some soft drums on the phone. You just leave way in the Shamayim. Light being is my frequency. I'm way in the Shamayim. Light being is my frequency. Hey, I'm way in the Shamayim. Light being is my frequency. I'm way in the Shamayim. Light being is my frequency. Hey. Hallelujah. Hey.
Like being in my frequency.
I'm way in the Shamayim. Like being is my frequency.
Way in the Shamayim.
Hey.
Like being is my frequency.
Hallelujah.
Way
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
like being is my frequency.
So I'm talking about
Way in the Shamayim.
like being in my frequency. Hey.
Way in the Shamayim.
We good. Man. That's I'm trying to tell you, like, those type of things, when that's on your mind, those things will naturally just come out. Like I heard him drumming, I'm like, okay, dang, it just naturally just came. So saying all this to say, it's like, this is why we have to take back our minds. Right? Our consciousness is where the light dwells. That's where the light dwells. The light doesn't dwell in your mind, it dwells in your consciousness that transfers it to your mind. Just like in data entry, right? I know you do data entry, right? And I know you do too. Data entry, you know why they need you? Because the computer itself can't input data into itself. Now, I know they got artificial intelligence, and I don't know, that may be coming soon. But as of right now, I know you need a person. Watch this. Hear what I'm saying? You need a person to input that data into the computer. Otherwise, they wouldn't be paying you to do that. It's the same way when it comes to your conscious awareness as a Ruach being and your mind. You input that data into your mind. So you have to feed your Ruach conscious awareness as a being of light. Because that's where the light dwells, in the Ruach, not in the mind. The mind just takes whatever's in the Ruach. So if ain't nothing in the Ruach, guess what the mind's going to do? Make up its own program. That's where programs come from. I'm just telling you. It's just the truth. Hallelujah. All right, so so let's talk about this idea of electromagnetic radiation. Got to talk about this, right? This is a topic that I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a guy who Maisha and I used to watch, and he, hallelujah, he I believe he is in the truth. All esteem to Yahuwah, but he thinks differently about certain things. I believe he was like I think a Mason, a Freemason or something, and like he decodes stuff. And he's always talking about radiation, right? He's always talking about how, like, the people like Bantu El, and like he goes deep into that. I know you know who I'm talking about, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was supping with Yahuwah on this word about light, that thought came across my mind that ultimately that is a example of how Yah will awaken and activate somebody who might not necessarily be a part of the awakening, because he got his information. He didn't get his information from Yah. I mean, of course, Yah's the source, so he got his information from Yah, but not directly, if that makes any sense. He got his information when he was in Freemasonry, right? That's where he learned, obviously these codes, but this is where he got the revelation of electromagnetic radiation and the idea of why us as Israel being the light really sets us apart, even on a physical level, because it does deal with melanin, right? The idea of, right, 666, 6 carbon, 6 proton, 6 neutron, saying, and again, I don't have to go deep into that, but I'm just saying this to say that his understanding, when it's all said and done, goes back to this idea of electromagnetic radiation being a form of power that is unseen, that is in this earth realm. But guess what? It's within us. This is what we were created with. So going back to when we were talking about Thomas Edison and how he didn't, you'd be a fool to really think that he created actual light and electricity. No, he got revelation from Yah because of the conditions during that time period. He was able to tap into the divine and really bring out something that was already there. Going back to what we literally just read in Genesis chapter 1, when Yah said, let there be light. Do you know that the sun and the moon wasn't even formed on that day? That was formed a couple of days later. So again, this idea of the unseen realm is what sets the tone for everything else. So why are we even talking about electromagnetic radiation? Because the world knows, the world and the high ups in the world, and even, people want to say people in the Illuminati, Freemasonry, and all this other stuff. Listen, they know the truth about who we are. But you don't. We don't. I'm talking about on the level that they do. So I'm going to give you all a definition. This is deep. This is so deep. But I'm telling you, it takes you doing the work to tap into this power. And again, I'm not saying you're using these powers to be a Hulk, right? Or to be a X-Men character. But do you know that that's ultimately where the real idea of that movie came from? Or that, because it really was a comic book first. It's where it came from. I ain't talking about Hebrews, man. Talking about the power that's really within you. Trying to tell you. Man, look, listen to this definition. Listen to this. Listen to this, y'all. In physics, electromagnetic radiation consists of waves of the electromagnetic field, by the way, which is unseen, which propagate through space and carry momentum and electromagnetic radiant energy. Somebody say Ruach. Ruach. Is energy. Energy. So I only got to go deeper into this definition. Yo, this is the system that we just read about in Genesis chapter 1 that Yah formed then. I'm going to let y'all let Selah for a second, because that's heavy. Now, yeah, Selah for a minute, because that's, I'm going to take a sip of this hydrogen, 2 oxygen. Because you got to understand the physical realm, it's governed first by the ruach, unseen realm. This is why the sun and the moon, okay, we'll deal with that later. Let me deal with this unseen stuff first. Awar, light, be. Okay, cool, it's here. Now let me separate this from this hashek. That's literally what he did in the beginning. So again, because the physical realm is governed, meaning controlled, by the spiritual unseen realm, therefore, this light that Yahusha is talking about in Matthew 5, watch this. It transcends the sun and the moon. See, this is why Yahusha, son of Nun, could literally, being tied and tapped into this realm, empowers, he's able to stop the sun. Why? Because this electromagnetic radiation, that Yah created in the beginning, we just gonna call it the unseen power, existed then. See, light, this light that Yahusha is telling you to let shine, I'm telling you, it's an extension of Yah's power. See, this is what science has labeled the extension of Yah's power. Because they don't fully, even though they know certain characteristics of it through observations and hypotheses, and, because a hypothesis isn't an exact, it's just what they think based off the information that they have, but they don't really know. Listen, Mashiach saying that's within you. There's more of that within you than the rest of the world. Now, all of the world has it within us. It's just the genetic makeup of us. I'm telling you, it's the order. It's just what it is. It's what Yah chose from the beginning, right? So again, This transcends the sun and the moon and all the, that's why people that's caught up in horoscopes and, oh man, we're in, the moon is in retrograde and Mars is in retrograde. And they saying all this stuff that's like, yo, ultimately, they're talking about things that are effect from a cause that goes back to the unseen realm. You ever heard that term cause and effect? The cause is what happens after, right? I'm sorry. The effect is what happens after. The cause is what creates the effect. And I'm telling you, this effect, it's in the unseen realm. So what Mashiach is telling you, watch this, is that you are energy. You have supreme dominance in your energy that Yah from the beginning planted, he placed within you. You. Somebody say you. You. Point to yourself, say me.
Me.
Hallelujah. You are that energy. You are that ruach. Because that's what the ruach is all about. It's literally what makes you the conscious, aware being that you are, that exists in this unseen realm outside of our physical bodies. But guess what? Everything that happens within our physical bodies is dictated by what happens where? In this unseen realm. So what Mashiach is saying, he's like, yo, you are that light. You are supreme being by nature. How you going to use your supreme being power, though? Do you even have access to the power, or are you so dark that it's obscure and it's clouded by everything else that's going through your mind and through your body? Come on, man. No, Mashiach telling you, you're the energy. You're the vibration. You are the wave. You are the frequency. You. But guess what? You have to let it shine, though. And again, this is all obviously corresponding to light. You got to let it shine. Now, obviously, we know Mashiach is the light. Again, don't take my words and be like, oh, man, see, he said that he's talking about self-empowerment. No. I'm preaching from the Ruach HaKodesh on the words of our King, where he said, you are the light of the world. But we can only be that because he is the light. Hallelujah. He is the Aleph and the Tav. So look, Mashiach, that's what he's telling you. But your limited perception of yourself refuses the shining of that light within you. It's ignorance. You're ignoring that. A lot of us, we ignoring that light within us. But guess what? Yahuwah provides spaces, opportunities, and times every day for that light within us to shine. Every day. Multiple times a day, actually. Right? So I want to talk about this too. The idea of this electromagnetic radiation, you'll hear terms like radio waves, microwaves, right? They do more than just heat up food, right? Hallelujah. It's an actual aspect of the unseen realm, right? Infrared waves, light in itself, right? Ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays, right? All of these are a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, i.e. the unseen realm, right? This is why when you're going to the dentist or whatever, and they're like, hey man, we gotta take an X-ray of your teeth, put this what's it called, this heavy little vest on, right? Put this heavy vest on. Why? Because we gotta protect your organs, because watch this. This X-ray has a type of power that can negatively affect your organs, right? But here's the thing. What's in you is greater than that X-ray. What's in you is greater than the ultraviolet. Listen, what's in you is actually greater than the gamma rays, which are the most powerful when they talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, right? They're the most powerful. It's like the story of the Hulk. And the reason why I'm even talking about this is because it ties into what we're dealing with light. But the story of the Hulk is that he was exposed to gamma rays. That's how he became this big green, you know what I'm saying? This big green, strong, muscular giant that could, knock down buildings and pull airplanes down and all type of crazy stuff. But here's what you got to understand. All of that, again, this is what man can see and perceive. What Yah placed within you, being pure ruach, the light, it's greater than all of that, because again, being connected through the vine Yahusha, you have access to his power, which is above all of these things. Hallelujah. See, this is ultimately why prayer can heal disease versus going to a doctor and taking medicine. And sometimes they use some of these things. That's ultimately what radiation treatment for someone that has cancer, that's what that is. But wait a minute, hold on. How come we know people that have had cancer and their cancer went away through prayer and a changing of their diet? Why? Because that's you going back, you changing up that diet, you praying in belief and in firmness and speaking those words, speaking that light daily. I'm telling you, it activates that light that's within you that's going to naturally heal you. This is proof that that light is within you. Place a 7 in the room. 7. If this is hitting, if this is bearing witness with your ruach. 7. See, this is encouragement. This is building up our nation and telling you, hey, man, you can overcome all that trauma that is blocking you from operating at your highest state of being, your optimal self. Hallelujah. This is huge, man. This is the flow. All of this, when they talk electromagnetic radiation, even when you hear that term, listen, it's the flow of a type of energy that Yahuwah created. But the energy that's within you, Mashiach is saying, it's greater than all of this. Even them gamma rays that made the hawk, no. Listen, this power is greater. It's beyond, which is why it sets the tone for the world. That's why it's the light of the world, right? And again, all of this stuff, you can't see it with the human eye, right? But you do see it in the Ruach, right? And again, all of these, they're forms of life. So why do we bring this out? We brought this out to show you that even the world knows the power of light physically, how much more Ruachally, when it's the source of all of that. But we want to be ignorant. We want to stay bound. We want to stay comfortable. No. Somebody say, open your mind.
Open your mind.
Control your mind.
Control your mind.
Because your mind works for you. It's not the opposite. A lot of people think that they are there. No, your mind works for you. Right? Just like your arms and your legs and your feet and your hands and your eyes and every aspect of your body works for you, and you control it. It doesn't control you. But you have to be in tune and aware with who and what you are. Right? So, again, in order to access this light and use it in the positive functionally, right, you have to be in tune and healed from darkness. Right? So obviously we talked about the Hebrew word hashek and what darkness is, but I want to go a little bit deeper into this. I'm feeling a little of the ruach to go deeper than this, right? Trauma, unforgiveness, toxic energy, or toxic ruachal